Hey everybody, wanted to talk to you today about warming up, whether you are inside or outside on your bicycle. And the reason for this, there seems to be a lot of questions about, at the end of the warm up, I really wasn't warmed up. And sometimes we just hit it right on the mark and it's just like the best warm up, which leads to the best intervals, the best endurance, the best sprinting, and it's just all around a really great warm up and ride. So what's the difference? Well, what I wanted to talk to you about is think about the warm up in 3 or 4 parts. What I mean by 3 or 4 parts is if you have 3 parts, that you've got 3 gear changes. If it's 4 parts, it's 4 gear changes. So the first change is when you start out. So that one is always steady. And if you think about it in terms of your heart rate zones, at the end of each segment of the warm-up, before you go into the next gear or the next segment, you want to be increasing a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. So it ends up being a progressive realization of effort, and that's an incremental increase. So if, say, we had 3 gear changes, right? The first one is when you're starting out, zone 1, we're working between 50 to 75%. At the end of that zone 1, you want to be at 75%. So when we go into this second shift here, or the second stage, you're going to want to be working between 75 and 85%. So really mirroring and modeling the 3 heart rate zones that I like to work with. So at the end of that second segment, you want to be at 85%, so that when you go into the third shift, this third segment, you're going to be at 85% and above. Now, the one thing that you want to be doing is you want to know the time for each of the segments. Say it's 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. So at the end of that 3 minute, you want to be at the end of that zone. So this last segment, this last 3 minutes, you're going to be 85% and above. I tend to look at it like 85%, 90%, 95%. And then usually I'm like redlining it. I'm at the top. Now, it doesn't mean that that's going to be exactly where you want to be, where it really works for you. But I want you to start thinking about it. It may be 85%, 87, 89, 90%, even 91%. So then as you are going through the warm-up at the end of, say, the 9 minutes, the 10 minutes, the 12 minutes, whatever the warm-up is, you want to be at maximum capacity, because when we're working through the intervals, right, is when you're giving it your effort. If you're redlining and you're topping out at, 85%, the very bottom of zone 3, you want to work to get up to it. Then when you're there, you want to be staying at that segment there. So your warm-up is always a progressive increase of effort. So if we break it into 3 chunks of 3 minutes, 3 minute zone 1, at the end of that 3 minutes, you want to be at 75%. That second segment of 3 minutes is between 75 and 85%. So you definitely want to be at the end of that 3 minutes, increasing it from 75 to 85%. Then that last 3 minutes, you're going to be digging. We all are going to be digging. And that's like the best part. You want to be increasing 85% and above. So when you're thinking about it, where do you want to be before you start? So that when you're in the midst of that zone 3 and above, you're hitting that target of 85%, 87%, 89%. Maybe it is 90%. I don't know. Only you know. And you know what? It just gets better and better as you practice this. So try it, give it a go, and let me know what you think. Let me know if this was helpful.